I'm on stream. Load the video. There we go. Excellent. I'm about to say, where's my video? I am now streaming in capital letters. The tier shifts. That's not how you spell the. Awesome. It's so nice. Kamala should have dropped. That's what I'm saying. Where's my Kamala, man? I'm so upset. Now streaming, yes sir. I want to do these at least once a week. I'm gonna try to stream at least once a week going forward because it's a lot of fun, I've realized. And also, I think varying up the content from just always being, you know, pre-recorded. You know what? I think that's pretty fair. Well, I need to pop out the chat too, so when I'm actually looking at the tier shifts, I can still see the chat. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, these tier shifts for Inyu are actually kind of decent. I can't even hate them. I mean, okay, I can hate a certain something. Maybe even two somethings, but mostly this certain something. I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. I kind of want to ban Titan right now. Is anyone gonna stop me if I just say to ban if I just ban Titan from Inyu immediately? Is anyone gonna stop me? What's our check to it? I'd love to know. I would love to know what our check to Titan is. I would love to know it. Who's got our Titan checks? And we can even look at the Pokemon that stayed in you. Oh, don't worry. It's okay. Physically defensive Crocolar. Ooh, Terra Water Conda. You know what's hilarious? Taki already talking about running Terra Electric on Titan. I hate this world. Oh my lord. Terra Electric kills everything too. I hate it. I think first... I mean, I guess we could wait for people to join anyhow. The stream did just start, so it might take a little bit of time to get people in here. But regardless, I mean, like, let's look at the Pokemon that stayed in you. Fairy, Croc, Might Cook. I ran into one of those in that video yesterday. And I'm gonna be honest, I've seen worse. So maybe it's time for the Fairy Croc. Look at the mons that we kept. For once in our lives, I feel like Inyu kept Pokemon that makes sense to keep. Like, at least generally speaking, there are definitely some outliers here. There's also some Pokemon that I'm a little surprised stayed Inyu. Yeah, so Safari Giraffe is one of those that I'm like, how is this mod staying Inyu by barely any? But if we look at the Inyu stats, I'll go to the very bottom. Oh my lord. Yo, look at Hatcherim. This is literally a 100% barely dropping. That's insane. I'm also really shocked to see Cacturn drop. I gotta say, Cacturn is a mon that I did not expect to drop. We've seen a lot of it. Yeah, Appleton I'm a little bit surprised, but I mean, if we think back to the recordings I've done, haven't I run into a weirdly high amount of Appleton? I think at this point, its niche is mostly just being a dragon type. I mean, if we think about the dragon type wall breaks in her tier now, with Goodra gone, it is literally just Appleton and Flapple, I think. I don't think we have any others. I can't think of any others, at least. Yeah, Berserker dropping is kind of wild. Okay, Poe, you might be onto something. I do think the alphabet theory, that might be one of my favorite just ideas about usage. Also, well, why is Veluza this high? Why is Veluza almost at 10%, man? That's so sad. Also, this number right here, get ready to see this number stay high the entire generation. Unless DLC makes Jolteon genuinely bad. This mon is gonna stay super relevant no matter what we do. I hate it. Cloth also had like a little bit high of usage, I feel. Stands out as being PU by usage most. I mean, do you mean like shouldn't have dropped, or do you mean, wow, have fun PU Lamau? If you mean just shouldn't have dropped, I'd honestly say Cacturn. I would have thought that, given all the hype it's gotten, that it would have stayed in you. Personally, I like Indeedee a lot. I think it's actually really strong. I would have said it should stay in you, but it doesn't get a lot of usage. I mean, as you can see here, so I'm not shocked. PU, we got the tier shifts for PU. I don't know if it's implemented on Pokemon Showdown yet, but we do have the usage for what's PU. So if you go to the usage stats thread, Hatchram and below, all of these are PU. Frostum dropping surprising. I don't think it's that shocking. I haven't seen a ton of it, personally. I would say that it's a mon that should stay in you, just on power level alone. But it doesn't shock me that it dropped. Wow, Greninja Warrior, I'm a huge fan of you too. Happy to see you here. Also, yeah, so I saw someone mention Berserker earlier. I'm like, not just a little, I'm a lot of shocked to see it this low. It wasn't even close to staying. 3.5 is not really, like, in-you usage. Also, what's this guy doing here? What's little Carkle doing here? What do you mean Hail ban? Hail isn't in this generation anymore, dude. I don't have to ban it. Simple. I hope Berserker rises. I do think it's kinda not the greatest in Inyu. I'm not as high on it, at least, as some other people. But, it should still be Inyu. It's one of our, like, 3 viable steel types. Copperajah, Berserker, Magneton, I feel like all of those should have been Inyu. So to see Magneton and Berserker both drop, it is a little surprising. Is there anything that's just got, like, absurdly low usage that should not? Anything at all. Frankly, nothing that's super low usage, at least, is egregious. All of these Pokemon should be dropping. I think it's really funny to see Pau with this low of usage. Yeah, I actually like Berserker in part because it doesn't seed the turns to Eel. I guess if you're like Terra on Magneton, you probably do an okay amount with Terra Blast. But I also don't think I'd run Terra Blast on Mag. I think I'd just always run all stab moves with Analytic. And just hope that Analytic gives enough of a buff. Welcome, Resnick. Looking at the drops. Well, right now we're looking at what dropped to PU. Anything else here that's just kind of absurd that it dropped? I think if anything, it's mostly just some of these mons that, like, almost were in you that surprised me. Like, why the hell is Carkle this high? I'm glad Quaxwell dropped, because I honestly think Quaxwell is really bad. I've not been a fan of it. I just think... Oh, don't worry, Nick. We don't have any spinners. So we could check RU to see what we barely missed as well. Here's Kamala usage. Just barely missed out on it. Also, I was right. It didn't rise to RU, but Frostmoth was very close to rising. I had said that I thought it would a couple times. So to see me being close, at least. There we go. Also, yo, Copper gets a decent amount of usage. Oh dear. Don't take Raja from us, please. There are a couple mods here. Wow, base Oricorio gets more usage than Sensu and RU? Damn. Yeah, I think Lilligant... Well, okay, so with Venomoth, I would say that we'd see more Vivillon usage, if anything. I think those are the more comparable of the two. But I do think Vivillon is, like, actually just super strong now in Inyu. I'm not sure what set's the best yet. I've seen a couple floated around. Yeah, honestly, I agree. When I used Lilligant, I thought it was awful. I mean, Jolteon is a Pokemon reliant on Terra, right? You want to be able to Terra with it so that you just smash the Sandaconda or the Camerupt. But then you look at Lilligant. This mod wants 3 different Terra types, and you're always still walled by multiple Pokemon, no matter which you pick. Yeah, the Defoggers in the tier, the Oricorios, Driftblim, Braviary. I want to say there's one more. I don't think Vespiquen gets Defog. If it does, then I've never seen it. Like, I have genuinely not seen a single Defog Vespiquen if it has it. Get Spikes. Spidops being NU by usage. I mean, what's weird is Masquerain is also NU by usage. Which was something I was a little surprised by. But, yeah, if you go up here, Masquerain's actually the one getting more use. So, I guess it's probably webs in general. But to see it at 10% combined is kind of insane. Admittedly, I think a lot of the Spidops that I've seen weren't even webs. They were like spikes. Spike's first impression. Spider. Yeah, Spider is going to be NU's mascot this gen. The prophecy is fulfilled. I'm a little shocked Rotom's usage is this high. I felt like it didn't pick up in use till like really late. Seeing Toxicroak and Honchkrow this high is also a little surprising. Just feel like Honchkrow, I just feel like it isn't that great to use, and in Croak, I thought we just haven't seen much of it. Even though it is really good, I would have thought its usage would be a little lower. Yeah, I think Muck, this is a little bit outdated by this point. I'd have to reevaluate how I rank the mons at the top, but I think when we still had Goodra, Pom-Pom, and Venomoth, I would have put Muck as like the 7th best mon in the tier. Oh yeah, I agree, GW. I think Croak has a ton of potential. I feel like that mon not being viewed just unanimously as stupidly broken is very interesting. I think getting CC this gen is a huge boost to it too, because you don't even have to run Focus Blast now. Oh my lord, Terra Low Kick. Is Low Kick the same power as Close Combat on Sandaconda? I don't remember. I hated Quill at first, but I kind of like it more now, ever since Tog put me onto the mon. I think she was, like, genuinely confused at how little I thought of it. So I got past consistently teams. Yeah, CC's a new buff to it. I think it's really, really helpful. Alright, man. Enjoy your day. Let's see. Anything else that feels out of place? I mean, again, I just want to direct everyone's attention to Jolteon here. That mon is insanely overused. It's good, but that's too much. That is too much. Yeah, I like Quill into the fighters in general. Hisuian Quill's going to be an interesting one. Because if I'm not mistaken, isn't it a dark type part? It's like Poison Dark? So unlike regular Quill, you don't check the fighters. I guess you still kind of check Metacham at least, because you're immune to Psychic, but it'll be interesting to see how good that mon is wherever it ends up. I don't actually know what it or its evolution get. That's a big reason though why I'm so excited for Home, because we get to get a whole bunch of the Arceus mons, and I do want to test out a good few of them. I'm annoyed Whiscash is in you. This mon sucks. I have never seen a Whiscash put in work. All I've seen a Whiscash do is try and set up hazards, and then spam Icy Wind, and just be setup fodder. It's just so bad. You know what's insane? As I look at the top of the mons that drop to PU, at the very least, they do have some cores that look okay. Like, they have some... They aren't just getting fed completely useless Pokemon that offer nothing overall. I mean, like, you got Camel and Berserker, so you have, like, not the worst Stealth Rock options ever. Karkle probably looks a lot better in comparison in PU, because, you know, lower power level. It also still checks the Quiver Dancers, kind of. Kinda, sorta. Might be okay. They actually, I mean, they get NDD, but they have steel types and dark types, I guess. Yeah, Haunter, I don't know if I'm super shocked at it dropping, but I still feel like it should be NU. I just didn't see a lot of it. Sunflora better be, like, at the bottom of the usage. I can't fathom seeing more than one of them when I was laddering. Let's look for Sunflora real quick. Also, thankfully, everything down here... Oh my lord, I'm shocked. I am a little surprised Flittle is second from the bottom, just because I know there was at least one user laddering with it. Okay, I don't even see Sunflora, so I guess that means its usage was so low that it doesn't even show up. That's insane. Oh yeah, there was. I remember someone even commented talking about using Pachirisu. And where was it? Right up here. You know what? Pachirisu actually got more usage than some other fully evolved Pokemon, at least. More than Goth, Greedent, Viper, Vigoroth. Oranguru. Gumshoos, even. And you control F. Yeah, I'll look for it. Sunflora. Yeah, it just doesn't even come up. Sunflora, officially cancelled. So we can also look at what we actually did get in NU. So there's this shift, of course, that affects NU, in that we can't unban Pom-Pom now. You know, there's no reason for us to want to unban Pom-Pom this soon. But if for some reason we had decided, oh yeah, the acquisition of Dachsbun balances it completely, well, now we can. Do I think Titan will be broken? I mean, just thinking about it with putting no thought into how I'd prep for it, yeah, it seems pretty broken. I think under snow it probably is near impossible to stop. But we'll see. Yeah, I think Dachsbun is the drop that I'm very, very, very excited for. Having a fairy type now that's not Dedenne. Yeah, Floatzel is going to be tied to the hip with rain. Barraskewda, as you can see too, also dropped. Yeah, literally all of the three, like, cope, poverty, rain options. I guess these aren't really poverty, because they were actually good, but, like, UU rain basically just shown falling off entirely. Yeah, I think Gunk Shot now in Passimian is actually justifiable. I think one of the nice things, at least, about getting Dachsbun is you force Passimian to consider Gunk Shot, so maybe it will drop EQ or Rock Slide more. It will give a little bit of breathing room, at least. I think Pass is still going to be the best mon in the tier, but it is what it is. And yeah, they did actually get a rain check too, which is... I mean, hey, if you start running manual rain, at least there's something that could stop it, or at least impede it. Bombardier is a cool drop too. I don't know how good it's gonna be, because Sandaconda's just kind of a whole mood. You know? Sandaconda's such a good rocker that even using Copper Raja at times feels pointless, because I could just be a Sandaconda instead. But Bombardier, it has knockoff, and it has U-turn, and it has Stealth Rock. And it has Roost. I do not want to see Floatzel or Barraskewda in NU personally. I do not want Manual Rain to have those at its disposal. I really don't. Floatzel getting Wave Crash is very scary. I fear for our tier if Floatzel drops to here. That is true, it would be good into the Conda. And yeah, with Snow, I mean, Titan with Belly Drum just immediately sounds insanely good. We have Obama Snow, so we got an Aurora Veil setter. Even with Light Clay not being allowed anymore, I don't really think it matters. You probably just pivot into running the Ice Rock, or whatever the item is that boosts Hail turns, and then gives Titan more turns under Hail. Yeah, Abomasnow is one of those mons where its bulk feels kind of deceptively good. It's not really something that you expect to be any good defensively because it has a million weaknesses, but unless you're hitting it super effectively, it's usually going to just tank that one hit. Wonder if there's anything else that's interesting here. Just given, like... I kind of pay attention to the other tiers, so... Armor Rouge rising to OU. I guess SPL Psychic Terrain team is, like, catching on really hard. And Armor Rouge is a big fixture of that team. Baxcalibur is, like, a hyper-offense moment, I think nothing more. There's been less screens from what I understand in OU, but you're just seeing like the hazard stack lead stuff now come back. Hydreigon, naturally, I could not tell you why this Pokemon rose, but it is Hydreigon. So I mean, its typing is good defensively, it's got Levitate. It kind of offers a lot from that angle. And without Clef, there's not that like fairy on every team. Yeah, Armor Rouge rising without knowing that Psychic Terrain teams are getting used now is kind of wild. I think that the latter just really likes Sticky Web, Lucaria. That's my only explanation. I'm not sure why, but I guess when you've got Braviary and Passimian both for Defiant being viable Pokemon, maybe that's where the fascination comes from. Of course, Torkoal rising to OU, naturally, because all the... what are they called? The Paradox forms. All of those past Paradox forms, really good under Sun. And with Walking Wake released, I wonder where Walking Wake falls in usage. I'm assuming at least that it'll appear here. Oh my god. Walking Wake is already at 2.8% usage despite just being released. That's insane. So yeah, this mod, of course, makes Sun super good in OU. So that's not really shocking at all. Grimmsnarl dropping because dual screens isn't getting used as much, I guess, with Cyclozar's ban. Yeah, Walking Wake is insane. I'm shocked RU kept Charizard too, but I think it kind of goes back to the Frostmoth point, where with Light Clay being allowed, RU was super hyper offense focused, and of course Charizard was a really good sweeper with Belly Drum. Ditto probably stayed in part because it could kind of help versus hyper offense. So I figure those mons will drop next shift. I think right now, when you look at a couple of these Pokemon near the border, their usage might just be getting a little inflated due to, you know, bans that happen in the middle of the month. I'm a little sad to not see Florges and Sylveon lower. I would not mind these Pokemon dropping to NU. Same with like some of these guys up here. I mean, why are these... why is Avalugg all the way at 8.5, man? Why is Colossal all the way at 7.8? Get these spitters a little lower. And of course the Kamala not dropping. That one's like genuinely upsetting. Me personally, I think we should have every evolution in the tier. Right now we've got 3 that are all meta. Let's get a 4th. Let's get Sylveon. And then we can start just deciding to use Flareon, Glaceon, and Leafeon and say that they're also viable. For no reason at all, other than, you know, evolution tier. I don't know if I'm supposed to think Hisuian Avalugg will be good or not. It's a rock ice type. So I don't know, is this supposed to be my defensive Pokemon? Is this my Flying Resist now that gets OHKO'd by Braviary close combat? I'm not sure I love the idea. That is true, it learns Rapid Spin. Let's check this. Avalugg Hisui. Let's give it even max physical bulk, why not? How much does a Braviary close combat do? If I don't see an OHKO... Alright, my bad guys. My bad guys, Braviary CC. The fully physically defensive Avalugg. How would I rate Bombardier right now? Well, as of right now, I rate it a 0 out of 10 because I've not used it. But how do I figure it'll be? It should be decent. I mean, you got Amon with the holy trinity of moves, Stealth Rock, U-Turn, Knockoff. Terror fighting better, KO. Let's see. Does this calc change? It's still a roll, but at least we're getting somewhere now. But Bombardier should be fine enough. At least getting to knock Konda's helmet, basically guaranteed, because I'm sure everyone will love to switch their little Sandacondas into the Bombardiers. I think that's good. The one thing I don't like about Bombardier is I hate stacking flying types. I just do. I hate stacking types when I'm building. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, it just feels bad. Bombardier better usurp Honchkrow's usage entirely. There was already not a whole lot of reason to use Honchkrow. I mean, Mon was still like generally strong, but just in my eyes, never really had a great use case over the other flyers, whether it was the Quiver Dancers, or whether it was just Braviary itself. And I mean, compared to the other dark types, Mabostiff, just a lot better than the Honchkrow because it's stronger and faster than Zoroark. I don't know if Zoroark's stronger than Honchkrow, I think it's probably a little weaker. Even if Honchkrow's running like, not... Say Zoroark's on specs and Honchkrow's on like, just not CB, I feel like any other boosting item would still put it on par at the worst with Zoroark damage. And then again, it's just slower, so... It's just kind of meh. It's also really frail, so I've never really enjoyed using it for that. A lot of these other mons, even if they're not offering you anything defensively, their speed tier I found usually helps them out, or they're just infinitely harder to wall because of, you know, coverage, because of pivoting moves, because of just raw power. Hail or Satitan getting bad? My guess would be Satitan would be what we try first, because usually you try to ban the Pokemon, as opposed to banning an ability or a move or an item, etc. So I think we'd ban Satitan and we'd go from there. See if Hail remains problematic in a Satitanless metagame. So, you know, if Beartic plus Abomasnow ended up being too much, I think then we'd consider looking at Hail. Or not Hail, Snow. God, I'm Gen 8 brain. But it's still hard to say. Usually the barrier for like... Or the bar, I should say. The bar for banning a non-Pokemon is always so high that you often need to have a ton of bans that are as a result of that non-Pokemon. I mean, yeah, Crocodile, I still don't think Crocodile is going to be worth running, though. Oh, yes, Citadel, my favorite Pokemon. And of course the annoying thing too is if you ban Abomasnow instead of banning just like Snow or banning all of the abusers, you could still probably replicate its success with Snover, I'm sure. Kata could make anything work. I mean, again, let's reference the NU usage real quick. Go all the way back to the bottom. This Flittle usage, I'm pretty sure is all Catalysador. I'm pretty sure this Seviper usage is also all Catalysador. They will use literally whatever. It's kind of dire. It's kind of dire. Yeah. My one worry with Bombardier right now, though, as I think about it, I don't know what you run for removal alongside it. I feel like it's probably going to be, what, Drifblim? And then just Prey? Yeah, I think Basculin staying is a little surprising. My guess as to why its usage is so high... Where was it again? Right here. My guess as to why its usage was still high enough to stay is just because it's still functional. You know, it's still a really good wall breaker at least. So, I think being faster than Brux is probably just the appeal. But it's a niche at least. I'd say really the big thing is just, yeah, the speed. You're also not weak to a Passimian's knockoff, I guess. Don't ask to see the close combat calcs. They're not good. But hey. something, I guess. Yeah, I think Masculine's a perfectly fine mon. Competing with Bruxish and even Clawwitzer to a lesser extent. I guess even Veluza, maybe, but we don't talk about this mon. Competing with those for a team slot's always difficult. But in terms of how the mon performs, it's not bad. It's just, yeah, why would I use Basculone right now when Bruxish is in the tier? And Bruxish is also so much easier to use. With Basculin, you're having to, you know, like, Terra into a rock type to land a head smash or something versus a Vaporeon. With Bruxish, I'm just like, oh, they're going Vaporeon? Me use Psychic Fangs. Me 2-hit KO your Vaporeon with Choice Band Bruxish. Oh yeah, Veluza is definitely just this generation's Minior. It is, you know, the new gimmick Pokemon that is way overhyped, way overused, but people love to try it out because its gimmick is cool. And so, it's probably always going to have too much usage, no matter what. But I mean, hey, if Veluza stays in the tier and it stays getting usage, it just means more free wins when you face a Veluza. Also, seeing Spiritomb this high in usage is really upsetting. Seeing Lurantis this high in usage as well, really upsetting. Seeing Farigiraf this low in usage is really upsetting. Imagine if we had just skydropped this mon into PU. That would have been really funny. At the very least, PU does have the benefit of quick bans not being gated by a month anymore. So they don't have to sit and just play with the Oricorio forms and all of these, you know, a lot of these mons appear that are probably ridiculously broken. They don't have to let those mons fester for a month. They can just get rid of them immediately if they feel that they need to be dealt with, which I do like. I've always felt that we should be able to tier as quickly as possible because, hey, a lot of the time, having an alpha month is fun and all, especially for the chaos of the first few days, but once that sort of novelty wears off, it's really not pleasant dealing with the absolute swath of OP offensive mons. Also, yeah, Vivillon, there's absolutely no shot that mon lasts more than a few days. I think anything that learns Quiver Dance is probably getting absolutely nuked. I mean, Dachsbun should still be a fine Wish Passer. I don't know what Dachsbun's stats look like, so I don't know how good of one it'll be, but let's see. Okay, so the immediate thing I'm noticing is this Pokemon has 57 HP. Which, you know, I'm gonna keep it a stack. 57 HP. Not good. Not good at all. But I think the main thing going for it is being a fairy type in a tier with no fairy type. Yeah, I didn't realize its HP was this bad either. But I think, well, Vaporeon will be a generally better Wish Passer just because it's got more HP, so its wishes that it's passing are more impactful. I think Dachsbun will still be a good option. I think it also opens up more options for defensive cores. You do like being able to slot in a fairy type. Also, well-baked body actually giving you a fire immunity, as opposed to a, you know, oh, you get a defense boost, but no, you still get absolutely smashed by this attack. I do think that's pretty cool. We don't really have fire types in NU that see high usage. I mean, as we literally saw at the start, Carkol, Houndoom, Pyroar down here, regular Oricorio. Scovillain is somewhere down here too. Where was he? Maybe it was like way down here. Anyhow, y'all get the idea. Like, every fire type dropped out of NU. So we've got a whole bunch of options, we're just not seeing the use. Yeah, 115 base defense is insane for body press damage. I think that at least will be fun. Is there a way that I can check what moves this guy learns in general? Oh yes, it's down here. Let's see. Do we see a defense boosting move? It appears we do not. If this mon could boost its defense, we already know what set would be getting use. We already know. Wow, Dachsbun's move pool though is terrible. Iron Defense would be really funny on a Pokemon that's supposed to be a bread dog. Literally just the stale bread Pokemon. Yeah, Scizor is disappointing. We can go back up to here real quick. Where was it? Yes, here. Scizor dropping down to UU. This mon just does not have its moves anymore. I think it lost Roost. It lost Knockoff. It's really sad. Really sad all around. I don't know if I'd say Scizor won't be amazing in UU. I mean, I didn't even know Scizor learned Ponyx Sun. That's so random, man. They really said no more recovery for you. But I would still assume Scizor will find a way to be solid at the minimum. I mean, it's Scizor and Aru, man. It's gotta be. Yeah, I mean, don't forget this too, right? If you think back to last gen when we didn't have all of the DLC and Pokemon Home being released, there were a couple Pokemon in UU. There's this one guy, I don't know if you remember him, Copper Copper was actually one of the best UU Pokemon for a really long time. And once we had all the DLCs, it slowly fell to Inu. Yeah, if Hisuian Table was a nice steel type, I'd feel a lot more excited to use it, even though it'd still have the, like, god-awful quad weaknesses. I would still use it. It'd actually be able to switch into a Draco Meteor that way. And now, we are getting cooked by Draco. So it kinda sucks, but is what it is. If I'm remembering right, this one actually has, like, good attack at least? Yeah, 127 attack is not bad. Wow, it doesn't even have the moves here yet. But this mod should be alright. As a wall breaker, maybe. Maybe kinda sorta. You run it under Trick Room and it tries its best to do something. Strong Jaw's nice. I think it would still be able to switch into a Draco. You would definitely have to be fully invested into your bulk on that end. But I think you'd still be able to switch into a Draco. Maybe not a strong Draco. Yeah, Mudslap would be cooking that man up. Yeah, I think Grimmsnarl dropping is in large part just Hyper Offense not being nearly as good now, with the broken Ostrich being gone. Which I'm all for. Espathra might have just been the least pleasant Pokemon to encounter in games of all time. It's not fun getting smoked by the speed boosting bird. Oh yeah, I'm sure Grimmsnarl will still be really good for dual screens in UU. As I mean, in UU, it still has Light Clay there. Do not forget, the Light Clay ban, so far, only in RU1. I think if Light Clay gets banned in UU as well, we could end up eventually, this gen, seeing Grim back in NU. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure if Hisuian Avalugg is better or worse than original Avalugg. The typing is worse defensively, but it is a little bit better offensively, I guess. You have Dual Stab now. And I mean, at least under Trick Room, right? Yes, the speed boost is useless, and if anything detrimental, because you might outspeed a couple more things. Again, let's look at this. 38 is still really, really slow, so I don't think in practice it'll matter too much. Yeah. I mean, better Ice Stab is still helpful. I mean, if Avalugg Hisui falls down to Inu, I'll probably try it just for the heck of it. Though I definitely don't expect it to do anything of value. And if anything, I'll be real, I expected to get held up in a higher tier. I fully expect, like, Yu or Ari to just decide, hey, you know what mon we should keep forever? This random rapid spinner that offers our format nothing at all. It's just, I can sense it. And I hate that I can. But I just know it. Yeah, it resists normal attacks because of how good its defense is. It super resists normal attacks. A Zangoose using Facade, it is doing 10, maybe. 10 might be a little generous. Yeah, somehow they will drop Hisuian and Avalugg before Kamala. You said, so let's see, does Zangoose beat this guy? I'm curious, how much does it do? I'm gonna calc the Toxic Boost set, because that's the one that gets the most use right now. Oh no, item badly poisoned. Oh no, Zangoose! It lives! That's insane. Yeah, if Snow affected Body Press, that'd be pretty cool. I don't know why they decided... I mean, this mod's not even any bulkier than regular Avalugg is the thing, too. It's just funny to see it not matter when it wants to take these quad-effective moves. I hope we get regular Samurott from home. I did see a data mine, though, of the Pokemon coming back, and I don't think I saw regular Samurott. So I don't know if that was just an oversight. I don't know if the list was non-exhaustive, and just as a result, you know, didn't have all the Pokemon, just had most of them. I would think that we'd get regular Samurott back if we're getting, the Hisuian forms of the starters, too, because I know Typhlosion's coming back. And I know that, actually, no, I don't know if Decidueye is. The Unova starters are all coming back. Okay, so Samurott is coming back with Home Good. Oh, right, the DLC mon's different than the home mon stuff. Well, every starter comes back except for Imbor and Superior? I would love to hack Ceaseless Edge onto regular Samurott. Give me my spike setting just attack. That move is so cool. I think Ceaseless Edge and even Stone Axe are both really cool. Being able to just spam attacks and still get your hazards up is really fun. So I'm also glad that they buffed Rapid Spin's damage a couple gens ago, or last gen. I forget when Rapid Spin got the buff. But having Spin at 50 power now, so it kind of does moves, or not does moves, so it kind of does damage, I think is cool. I don't know if Thwackey will be very good. I feel the issue for Thwackey is losing out on Grassy Glide. That was a huge reason that it was good, because he was also an okay revenge killer. So you had like Grassy Glide, you had Knockoff, you had U-Turn. And so at the end of Sword and Shield NU, when we saw some of these grassy terrain teams start getting use. No, I believe every tutor move from Sword and Shield is just gone entirely. But it could also be we just don't have the information yet. And so a lot of this is based on transfer moves, if they are truly gone or not. Is Flip Turn in the game? I won the tutor moves back, but from everything I've heard, transfer moves aren't a thing anymore. And so I don't know if it's been speculation the whole time that we've heard it, or if it's been, like, backed up somehow. Oh, right, some of those mons actually just kept it. Oh, right, I forgot. Flip turns on, Palafin. I remember. So maybe they brought some of the moves back just as learnable moves then. I don't know if that means that they'll be transferable, though. We'll have to see. Yeah, I mean, if Snow is actively buffing your defense stat, then I feel like Body Press should amp the damage. Serena has Glide naturally, I think. It might? I know... I don't know. I was gonna say Delmise. Delmise isn't in the game. But hey, if Delmise comes back, Delmise did at one point have Grassy Glide. Don't forget. Not through Learn Set, but through tutoring. So if for some reason we get Delmise back, ever, who knows, maybe it'll be able to use Grassy Glide again. Anything interesting in OU almost drop? Oh, they almost dropped Quaquavel. So maybe this guy will be in UU soon. Earthworm just barely, no, not barely, but Earthworm kind of near the precipice of falling down again. If they ever ban Shedtail, I assume Earthworm just kind of falls down to Zunderused. They'll need to make a new tier for Earthworm if Shedtail's banned. I'm not convinced that Pokemon is real. And then in UU, we still see Tinkaton Supremacy. Anything interesting dropping almost? Brute Bonnet's actually getting close to dropping. If Brute Bonnet drops, I believe this would be the lowest tiered Paradox form. Oh, and Iron Thorns. I didn't even see it, just 2 spots above. That is true. I guess I'm forgetting. Earthworm's a steel type with a ground immunity. That's like just naturally really valued. Oh, and Toedscruel's also kind of close to an RU drop. I mean, that would give them a spinner. Maybe it would make the RU players a little more willing to stop using one of the others. Oh, did Iron Thorns get banned? I'll be honest. Oh, it's okay, so it isn't bad. Gotcha. Yeah. That'd be really funny, though, to see Iron Thorns in RU. I agree. I could not see that mon allowed for more than, like, a day. It looks like something that would have to be banned really, really quickly. I'm still annoyed with the RU usage, by the way. Why is Charizard so high up? I don't even think Charizard would be that good in NU. A Belly Drum would be annoying, but it doesn't even have Defog anymore. It doesn't have Roost. It lost all of its cool utility moves. Revavroom is just a good steel type. It can set T-Spikes. It has Parting Shot, so it can pivot. That's honestly just about it. Ah, no, you are thinking of Varoom. It's pre-evolution with the wonderful ability of Slow Start. Varoom is an incredible Pokemon, don't forget. Holy cow, is that NU Council member on Arceus? Whoa-wee. Yeah, Whimsicott's an interesting one. I wonder if Terra does anything for it with Prankster. I think Whimsicott probably still just find its way down to NU, given it kind of just been its history. Y'all already know. I think I made this clear every time that I used Whimsicott. That is one of my favorite Pokemon. So, if it gets back to NU, you already know we're making 5 lives in a row, all with some different Whimsicott set that I've decided to be viable on that given day. It's not in this gen as of now, but it might be in the DLC. I'd have to reference the paste bin. Also seeing Weavile finally be a relevant Pokemon in its tier. Look at that! Weavile's top 10 in Ario. That's adorable. Also, Cryogonal went from being like kind of close last month to dropping to NU to being 10% usage in RU. I'm so sad. Yeah, they really did Weavile dirty this gen. Keep in mind, compared to Gen 5 UU where Weavile was, back then, Weavile still had Pursuit. So, it was still a good mod even though it didn't have the OP knockoff. It still had Night Slash, but it got to Pursuit stuff. This gen, they took knockoff, they took Pursuit. I'm pretty sure they took another move too. I mean, they definitely took away, what was it? Triple Axle, because that, you know, tutor move, so not as many Pokemon get it now. Oh yeah, if Weavile, I mean, Chansey and NU already is an absurd fall off. If we saw Weavile as well, I would be amazed. I don't even know if it'd be broken in NU. The mod has lost all of its good moves. It probably would be just due to stats, but hey, I can dream. Okay, as I look at our best Pokemon, ain't a damn chance in hell Weavile would be balanced. My bad. My bad for even entertaining the idea. I mean, hey, RU might let it go if we get a couple DLCs down the line and Weavile is, you know, comparably worse. Now, Stall falling to the Wastelands, you love to see that. I'm not upset about that at all. We had to play through about a week and a half long period where everyone was using Stall, and I had to run into the stupid little Crocolar every game on ladder because everyone wanted to use it. And now everyone's back to finally acknowledging, oh wait, right, this gen Stall is bad in it. It's a wonderfully euphoric feeling. I don't have to run into no stupid unaware spam anymore. We don't even have more than one unaware Pokemon. Running into one still felt like spam because Crocolar would just switch into literally everything. And you couldn't get hazards up half the time because their stupid Hatchram and their Crocolar would just sit around with its stupid bulk and its stupid slack off. Yeah, I don't know why Farigiraf is getting such low usage. It's a really, really good mod. I mean, this mod is probably, when we changed the VR thread from being just the generalized tiers into like, you know, A+, A, etc. Farigiraf is gonna be in like mid-A. That mod is good. Like, certifiably good. Hey Lucian, you want to do that? Go for it. Berserker definitely, like I said earlier, I was really surprised Berserker fell into NU. It just doesn't not fall into NU, fell into PU. That seems like a Pokemon that should have stayed instead of dropping. Again, we had, what, 3 viable steel types? 4 if you count Tinkatuff? And somehow only Copperajah stayed in NU. And all the others said, okay, goodbye. Oh, you know what I just noticed too? We kept Appleton, we dropped Flapple. Flapple and PU is gonna be really funny. They're gonna learn Flapple supremacy. There was one dude using Fracture I remember on the first day. I think it was Elias Sai. He was using some Fracture in the room tour we did back when we first got the tier. But yeah, I would have honestly not disliked seeing some Fracture usage. The mon is like decently strong, and since we had literally 0 fairies worth using before this tier shift, not a terrible one. Did PU ban Flapple at one point? Damn. I do remember when they banned Berserker, it was like their best Pokemon by a mile. And there were just all those crazy debates about like, but is Berserker really OP? Do we really not want to have any steel types? Yeah, I would assume that Flapple gets Giga banned from PU. Their steel types I don't think are able to check it long term. Even though the mon has absolutely no coverage worth looking at, I'm pretty convinced that mon will get sent to the Shadow Realm. Also, no, do not bring Ninjask back. I do not want to relive the Ninjask metas. I don't want it. Stop that. I also do not want Shedinja in the tier, because you know somebody will try to make a Shedinja stall, and it will be the most spam team in the mid to high ladder for at least a month. Monotype can't be that bad, surely. I'm sure that the format, that the same typings that have been broken for the past 5 generations, I'm sure it can't be that bad. Oh yeah, Bug did get slaughtered. Scissor's no longer very good. I'm trying to think about like other mons Bug lost. I lost Buzzwole. I think I remember Buzzwole being good. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember much about Monotype previous gens. I mean, Bug is low kicks now. Low kicks is a cool guy. I don't know, Lucian. I don't know if I'd say Vespiquen is good into Greninja. That might be one ninja that can't match against. Low kicks might be one of my favorite mons from Scarlet and Violet. Even though it is literally just a cockroach standing on 2 feet, that's still a cool mon. Nice Bug Dark. Nice Axe Kick. Yeah, I think Low Kicks suffers from the same issue that Venomoth does, where if you look at why we banned Venomoth, a lot of it came down to just the only Pokemon that was really consistently handling it was Goodra, because Goodra's special bulk naturally was just so obscene. But then you look at Low Kicks, and it's kind of the same thing, just with physical attacks, because it's also a Tinted Lens mon, so if you're not hitting something super effectively, it's kind of tough. It's not as bad for Low Kicks as I'm remembering. Its base attack is pretty good, actually. And I mean, let's compare it. Let's look at Venomoth first. Oh, that's how you spell Venomoth. Let's go. Let's add that O. So yeah, 90 for Venomoth, and it's also working with relatively weak moves. And yeah, Low Kick's 102, which is a little bit better. It also has Sword Stance, which is a little easier to just boost with. Stronger. Yeah, I mean, hey. Pokegame did a very nice video on why Goodra's terrible. At least relative to all the other pseudo-legendaries. That mod is just... Oh, it's so sad. With Goodra's move pool, I would have thought that the mod would be desired to be a wall breaker, and instead they're like, hey, but what if we gave it 150 base special defense? Is Tusk at 58? Oh god. Oh my lord, that's just disgusting. Why is it 58? It's 57, but why is it this high? That's disgusting. I hate this. I mean, Great Tusk is rapidly approaching Landorus Therian levels of uncontested dominance. Oh, don't worry though, Nick. When Pokemon Home comes out, I think Landorus T returns. Maybe not with Home, but I do know Lando T is returning at some point. So once they get to use their Lando T a whole bunch again, I'm sure Tusk usage will fall. Because the OU brain is not meant to use Pokemon other than Landorus T. You know, you say that Lando lost all those good moves, and yet it still has a whole bunch of the other good ones too, so I'm sure it'll be good. I think now you'll just have to see it run like, you know, Scarf again. So you're gonna see like good old beautiful from Black and White era of just like EQ, U-turn, Stone Edge superpower. Something like that. You could still see the Stealth Rock sets too. Because I mean, Stealth Rock, EQ, U-turn, Stone Edge. Stuff like that. Losing out on a lot of its like icing, I'll say. A lot of the icing on the cake type of moves. That definitely sucks. But in general, the mon is still probably going to just be the most used. Oh yeah, you thought Lando I, with sheer force agility, was a problem? Oh yeah, how about Nasty Plot now? I am very interested to see how quickly Lando I gets banned with that addition. I'm also really interested to see what happens with Enamorus, because that Pokemon honestly looks really bad. When you compare it to how good the other genies have been throughout the generations, Enamorus looking kinda terrible. God, every time we unban Genesect when a new gen comes out, and I ask why. This mod is not ever gonna be balanced. So in Gen 5 we banned it, in Gen 6 we banned it, in 7 we banned it, in 8. Do we need a 5th time to check? 5th time's the charm, guys. That's how the phrase goes. Now, guys, it's okay. You know what checks Genesect? My Golden Go does if I am Terra Fire, Terra Blast, and they stay into Flamethrower me. There we go. We found the counter. Also, yeah, no, don't forget, Genesect with Terra probably will be one of the best users of Terra once it's, like, immediately sky dropped into OU. I did just say Genesect. You gotta do something about it. You can't tell me Genesect is not the right way to say it. It's literally Gene, like jeans, and insect, like insect. It is 110% Genesect. Do not tell me you're one of the Genesect truthers. Say it ain't so. Consider Genesis. Oh no. No, there's more of you. No! You will not convince me it's not Genesect. I refuse. This is my world. I don't know if anyone can confirm this. Is Contrary nerfed? I've heard that it is. I don't know though, because a lot of abilities we were told were nerfed aren't. You don't have to bring up the genetics point, alright? It is Genesect, and I will say Genesect whether you like it or not. Who are you to judge if Genesect's wearing jeans or not? It's got legs. It's one of the few Pokemon that you could look at and actually, like, Photoshop on a pair of jeans, and it wouldn't look weird. This is only further confirming that I'm the one saying it correctly. I hope you're all aware of this. If I see a Nasty Plot Landorus T, I'm going to cry real tears. I do not want to face that mon with NP. Okay, so Contrary is not nerfed. I think the issue with Enamorus still, Contrary's superpower will be good to some degree, but I was looking at its physical move pool maybe about a week ago. That mon doesn't learn moves. It's like superpower and play rough, and then you're looking at like Terra Blast physical to count. Yeah, if Intimidate had actually been nerfed to only work once a battle, that would have honestly solved world hunger even, I think. Non-contrary Lorantis with Sword Stance, that would be interesting. Lorantis with contrary this gen definitely feels just kind of bad. Losing out on superpower was a very big hit, so maybe it is time to try out like, seeing the other options. Because I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm tired of using Leaf Storm, Terra Blast, Defog, Synthesis. I don't like it. Oh yeah, Loranthus is 100% gonna stay in you for a good 3 or so months. Longer than it should. Oh yeah, grass types just seem bad this gen. You've still got like an OU Meowscarada? But otherwise, I mean, let's look. What else is getting OU usage? You got Meowscarada and Amoonguss. And a Breloom just barely holding on. But it would not shock me if Breloom was only still OU because of nostalgia and the fact that we were gone. Or the fact we didn't have Breloom for that last gen. And yeah, Meowscarada wants to run Protean and turn into, a dark type or whatever other type. True, you got Wo-Chien. Wo-Chien at least is really good in Yu-Yu. Where is he? Where's my boy? Okay, where's Wo-Chien? Where is he? Here you go. Really good in Yu-Yu. Smile. I wouldn't say it doesn't run Protean. It can go Overgrow, but Protean is still good on it. I think the lead sets, honestly, are better with Overgrow. But yeah, something like Scarf or even Bandit, I don't think I'd ever run Band on that mon. I would always go Protean on just to amp up the damage of U-turn. Will Yu drop any spinners? I think we looked at Yu having... Yeah, Toad's Cruel is kind of close. Not really that close, but it's... it's the one thing we could look at from their usage and go, there's a shot at some point. It'll all be contingent on how this next month goes. If we start seeing less and less Toad's Cruel, then maybe it goes to Ryu, and then maybe in May, Ryu starts dropping. Actually, like, all of NU's NFE spinners dropped. We can go back to that, but all of them dropped. Carkol somehow was nearly NU, I don't know why. But we have Carkol dropping here. And then Quaxwell we have dropping here. So PU is actually probably going to have spitters that aren't bad. I mean, I'd assume Carkol and Quaxwell look at least relatively decent compared to how they are in NU. Do I think Hisuian Typhlosion will be NU? I don't know. I don't remember what its stats look like. Oh, how do you spell Typhlosion? I think it's like that. Hisui. Ooh, nice special attack. I mean, honestly, this looks like something... The annoying thing is, since we don't have the move set on here yet, can't see what moves it got, and I do know that once Arceus stuff drops, there are going to be some move pool additions, just because of signature moves in Arceus that were not kept in Scarlet and Violet, and then, got replaced. So, like an example, for some reason, Cresselia learns Jungle Healing now. Because, we need a Jungle Healing Cresselia. Check Cerebi for moves. Oh god, they do, don't they? Cerebi, Hisu... That's not how you spell it. Hisuian Typhlosion, yes. Let's see here. What moves we got? Typing and moves... I think the typing is insane. This... It looks so pathetic without the fire coming out. It's so sad. How do I check the move pool for the Hisuian one? If I go to Gen 9 decks, anything show up here? Okay, so here it shows what TMs they both learn. I don't know if the move pools are the same. Oh, Hisuian. There we go. Ah! So here is, I guess, the signature move that it had/has. I don't know if this is one of the ones that kept. So it is just better Hex, and it is a Hex that can burn. Okay, yeah. So it's like Hex if it could apply the burn itself. Cool, like that. And then it looks like otherwise it's just the same moveset as normal Typhlosion. Okay, standard Hisuian. And then here's the TMs. And of course we know it has Shadow Ball because it is a ghost type. I think... So, the reason it is a little hard to answer what will be NU and what won't is because we're going to get DLC eventually too. That'll shift. I think at the start, though, Hisuian Typhlosion definitely will be in, like, at least RU. Also, Lilligant's going to be UU at a minimum. That Victory Dance, it has physical Quiver Dances shit. I think that mod is just going to be OU. The one thing, of course, that'll hold it back, Hustle sucks. So, there's always the shot that people get tired of using it eventually because they miss too much. I would not recommend that Togeki ever touches a Hisuian Lilligant. You will never land and attack with that Pokemon. Don't kid yourself. Also, Wide Lens probably not too bad. You know I'm right. You can't deny it. Where did I find that page? The usage stats page or the Cerebi learn set? If you're talking the usage stats, you just go to the main hub of the Smogon Metagames page, and then you come down to here, and you click March. Why? What am I looking at? I'm gonna scroll back up real quick. Let's go. Yeah, Wiredeer looking mighty terrible. That mon looking mighty awful. There's also Hisuian Braviary, which has... I forget what the move was called, but it has that one psychic speed boosting attack, which sounds kind of cool. I think something with stored power on that mon. Yeah, Esper Wing. Some of the stored power on that mod will probably be decent. Like, that's another mod that I look at and I'm not sure where it'll end up tier-wise. Yeah, it has Tinted Lens, too. Yeah, that mod's seeming kind of good. I could see it in UU. I mean, Flying Psychic, not the best offensive type ever, but we've seen Sigilif do well with it. Sigilif, but American, basically. We're talking like 1960s American, too. Mon looking very hippie. What point in evolution did Braviary become a patriot? Well, when Christopher Columbus in 1492 invented America, I think he had a Braviary with him, and it was at that moment that Braviary became a patriot. Game Freak's made a good grass psychic type. It's got Celebi. Celebi's good. Trust. We almost had to ban it in you last gen. Damn, not the Christopher Columbus slander. On March 1st of all days, too. The new Paradox, boys. I think Walking Wake, the Suicune one, that mon looking like a nice Uber's Pokemon. Looking nice and banned. And then I think Iron Leaves probably kind of sucks, but it'll still be good, at least until we've seen DLCs. Like, Iron Leaves just struggles with the terrible defensive typing. I mean, Grass Psychic, you know, let's be real. That type sucks. I forget how many weaknesses it is. It's like 7. It might not be being viewed as crazy now, since there's been a day for people to get adjusted to it, for sure. But I look at that mod and I go, this mod is going to be insane. Is it walled by pegs under Sun? Maybe it's Smadef pegs. I don't even know if you can calc stuff. Walking Wake, okay. Is Hydro Steam in here? It is. We'll say it's Specs. 252. Protosynthesis. And then we go to Toxapex, Depex. Oh, I don't know why this is FizzDef, but sure. Huh. Hey, that's some nice chip. And yeah, I mean, outside of Sun, the mod definitely is not as good. I just think that under Sun is where you should always be using Walking Wake. Or under Rain, even. But it seems like a Pokemon that's actually just a weather-exclusive guy. I mean, yeah, I'd assume Entei would still stay in UBL. Keep in mind, too, is if we do not get Cleric moves back, ever, Entei would be even more absurd, because Sacred Fire spamming burns, all the more impactful. As it's like, Vaporeon comes in this gen, it gets burned, okay, that burn sticks, it cannot heal Bell it off later. So, yeah, I mean, I would assume Entei. I would hope Entei doesn't even drop to NU at that point, you know? I'm sure Sandaconda switches into a Sacred Fire, takes like 70, and then has to switch out next turn. That's the hope, at least. Do we even have any, like, real Sand Abusers this gen? I know Excadrill isn't in the game right now. Actually, wait, yeah, the Bread Dog does kinda check. I mean, you get Iron-Headed, but if you Terra Steel, you might actually just beat Entei down. Oh, true, we do still have Lycanroc. Houndstone did have Sand Rush, yeah. Then we sent it to Ubers, told them to deal with it. I swear, if I ever see Houndstone unbanned, in Last Respects not immediately banned after, I'm going to be sad. Unironically, back in Black and White, when Hippowdon got Sand Force, my first thing that I did was I made a Sand team with Sandstream, T-Tar, and Sand Force Hippowdon. That Hippo didn't do anything at all, but it was really fun. Oh yeah, Milk Man. I don't know what to call you. I'll just call you Milk. I think Last Respects definitely gets bad once the Basculegion line comes in. There's not a world in which I see them keeping the move around once there's more Mons to make use of it. I still personally think Houndstone probably should not have been banned. It's, at the end of the day, it's still really easy to just justify banning a whole Mon anyway. I get why people were upset because they want to try out Houndstone without Last Respects. But I think once we've got Basculin, White, and Basculegion, there's going to be no argument. Yeah, I think they have to ban Last Respects. Obviously, if Basculin White somehow made its way down to NU, I'm sure it would be very, very broken. I haven't seen its stats, but my guess is that the stats are similar to the Basculins we have right now. Basculin, White Striped. 98 speed, yep, that is the same exact speed as the others. Yep, this guy will be broken. Oh, we even have its whole moveset. Oh, right, it is an I forgot it evolves into Basque Legion, so it counts as an NFE. Oh, God. Right. I sure hope we ban the spawn immediately when it's out. Dear Lord. It's pure water, so I think it probably would just Terra Ghost and spam Last Respects late game and win. Now wait, it's okay. I'll find the savior for Inu. Never used. Hold on. So how do you beat a Basculin in Inu? Well, you see. You simply bring in your normal type. See? Look at that. Fara Giraffe, you wall Last Respects. Simple. Ignore that the Basculin is indeed still allowed to use water type moves. That's not important. You just gotta wall Last Respects. Oh wait, no, you know the true check? It's Terra Normal Vaporeon. There we go. 1 Mon Electric Surge. Give Electric Surge to a Mon without a hidden ability already. I mean, what are my options for Inu? You know what? I would give Rotom Electric Surge. I think that could be fun. It would also finally make Rotom Fan. Because you know, when I say give Electric Surge to Rotom, I mean all of them. It would make Rotom Fan's ability not completely useless. Because you could change your typing. Or you can't change your typing. But you could have a different ability, so being a flying type actually counts then. Yeah, it's still wild to me how scuffed Rotom Fan is compared to the others. It's part flying, so Levitate's completely useless, and then they gave it Air Slash, while all the other ones got like 130 or 110 powered attacks. I don't know. Oh no, you know why they didn't give it Hurricane? Because it's a Gen 4 mod, and I guess they never thought to like address that in Gen 5 or 6, 7, or 8. Yeah, I think that's really just the only reason. It's a mod from Gen 4, so it never got it only had Air Slash back that I'm in. But I think probably the easier solution would have been, in a later gen, give Rotom Fan Hurricane, and then give the other Rotoms the weaker special attack of their type. So, you know, give like Rotom Heat, something like Flamethrower, give Surf to Rotom Wash, give Energy Ball or whatever to Rotom Mow, and then give Ice Beam to Rotom Frost. Ice Beam on Rotom Frost, by the way, would make that mon wonderful. I would use it. And yeah, I mean, Honchkro's another one of the mods that I look at, and I think to myself, there's got to be a way to make this mod still feel good, right? It shouldn't be bad. It feels like maybe it's a mod that's just bad right now, because why am I using a Honchkro when I could use a Zoroark, right? Or I'm a Bostiff. I just can't fathom that Honchkrow with its like insane attack stats still has Sucker Punch. It's gotta still be good. Also, yo, Rotom Fan if it had Hurricane, just imagine that boy on rain teams. That'd be insane. Oh, if Shiftry has Defog, yeah, it'd be good. I think, if you want to think of mods that would immediately be of note for Inu, literally anything with a hazard removal move. Yep, that'll be of note for us. Because right now, let's look at our hazard removal. We got a Defog Braviary, which I frankly just don't like using. Defog Driftblim. I hate using Driftblim. Defog on Frostmoth. I hate using Defog Frostmoth. And then, you know, the list stops there, and then it's just Oricorios. See, you say that we're acting irrationally there, Nick. thinking that we'll never get a spinner. I have seen RU gatekeep Pokemon for years. Literal years. For no reason other than they, you know, the low ladder kept using it. Hey, from me, it's not Drifblim slander. I just don't like using Drifblim. It's a very boring Pokemon when you use Defog. Also, yeah, I was thinking that Braviary should definitely be good. Pom-Pom God is the biggest just roadblock. You don't have to ever think about running Rock Slide for some reason on it. I feel like those Fizz-Def Braviary sets might be decent again. Maybe, perhaps. Or even just running, like, Scarf Braviary. It's saying, okay, you do not have a check to me. Yeah, I mean, no matter what, Sandaconda is always going to be really hard to break through. It's very tempting to try out something like Choice Banded Braviary, because I'm sure that Brave Bird obliterates it. And our flying resists are also kind of cope. I mean, Kaparaja is not taking a CB Brave Bird. Not very well. Jolteon Lamau. And then you're like down to here, and you're looking at like Cloth, which isn't too used. I feel like Electros probably takes a ton. Magneton, you have CC, so it's always a little risky. I mean, regular Rotom, where is he? I think he's still down here. Wait, where's regular Rotom? Am I blind? Is it down here? Oh. Well, this guy should be in high tier, but you have him, he gets obliterated by Brave Bird. That's kind of just how it works. And yeah, Violate Bisharp is a cool idea, but losing all the moves that it did is kind of unfortunate. And then, of course, it didn't get any of the cool moves that King Gambit did. And by cool moves, I really mean just cool move. The Kowtow Cleave. Yeah, Tog, I think once we change the ranking format, a lot of mons will look better ranked. Because if you look at mid-rank, obviously right now, it feels very weird to see something like... Trying to think of a mon that would still stay in mid. Maybe Rotom Fan. It feels weird to have Rotom Fan in the same sub-rank as, say, Veluza. I think once we change it to be ranked B+, B, B-, stuff that's really good being in B+, then the more niche stuff falling to B- will make it look nicer. And yeah, Pyro or Quillfish should also just be, you know, on that upper end. I think probably once we do our quick ban slate, where we will be quick banning Titan, I hope, should be a good time to overhaul the VR, because then we could include the new mons as well. Because, I mean, Bombardier? I figure Bombardier should end up being, you know, somewhere in the A ranks, for example. Abomasnow even, I could see being in the A ranks. Maybe not, because the chance even... I feel Abomasnow will be good this gen again. At least early on. And then, what was the other mon that we got? Dachsbun. Dachsbun probably ends up somewhere in the A ranks too, just because it's the only fairy type. I would even imagine it being in the higher A ranks, just because of that. I mean, Oricorio Pao, in theory, it does absolutely nothing. And when you think about how viable it is, I would agree that right now it's unviable because of the other Oricorios. I think functionally, it probably still can mimic the other Oricorios, but being a lot more reliant on Terra. Yeah, Dachsbun just seems like something that will be really solid. It's nice to have a mon that's a better Passimian check. Passimian, I'm sure, will start running Gunk Shot a little bit more now, but if Passimian is running Gunk Shot, then it's not running EQ, and so something like Quillfish is a lot better of an answer. And I mean, yeah, Sidsu and Oricorio Bale are still better, always, than Oricorio Pao. And that's why I wouldn't rank Pao very high, if I'm ranking things based on the right now. Because there's not a reason to use it. I just think in terms of how it functions, it should still be really good. It's just a matter of there's no reason to use it at the moment. I mean, Oricorio Bale, you're already starting to see a little bit more of, I'd say. Even Pyroar, starting to sort of pick up in usage. And in Houndoom feels like a bit of a weird mid-ground between Bale and Pyroar, where you kind of just want to throw off attacks with it, because it is naturally strong. You also want to set up, though, because it's got Nasty Plot. But I think all three of them are pretty good options right now. The nice thing is that Vaporeon isn't the worst end-all be-all thing for any of them either. Yeah, you can always run Terra Blast stuff with Pyroar and Houndoom. Yeah, Taunt Houndoom is obscene if you want to just own any build that's fat. If Morpeko were to stay in RU solely because it had Rapid Spin, I don't know what I'd say. How'll Aurora Veil be an NU? Should be really good. Even without Light Clay, the difference for it and in dual screens, if you were to try to run something like Morgrim still, is that you get Aurora Veil up in one turn. So you do functionally get more turns of your screens. Yeah, I don't know how Hunger Switch works with Terra. I wonder if it overrides Terra? Huh. I mean, that's going to be an interesting thing to see once we get more Pico. Well, it's more when you're using Aura Wheel. Because of Hunger Switch, your type gets changed. Yeah, Light Clay is banned by RU. You know, I never really liked the Morgrim HO. I thought it was okay enough. At the end of the day, it's offense, and offense is really good at finding wins in games that maybe it shouldn't find them. But Morgrim was just such a bad Pokemon that I hated having to use it. Whereas Abomasnow, I think Abomasnow will be a genuinely solid Pokemon. So I don't mind having to use it. It's still amazing to me that we really get both of the sticky web setters. Aura Wheel changes depending on the form at the time, but the forms are always electric dark, and the mon itself never changes type. So I think the question, though, is what happens? Well, it's because Aura Wheel's typing changes. Yeah. I think that's then the question, not how Morpeko's Hunger Switch works, but how Aura Wheel will work. Because, you know, Utera, you become just straight up a different typing. I don't know if how that'll interact with Terra's type. Like, I don't know if it'll add on a typing to you. So, like, say you Terra into a Grass type, and you were in the Happy Morpeko form, and then you Aura Wheel. Like, Raging Bull. That's an interesting idea. Choice to Abomasnow? I don't know if I'd run. I think I'd still just go with Boots. The removal in the tier is pretty poverty. And with Chansey existing, among other things that kind of annoying for Abomasnow to break, I think I'd probably still just go with Boots, because you're going to be spamming Blizzard versus a lot of the special walls that lack recovery anyway. Or that are reliant on just solely leftovers for recovery. Wait, you know, I say that? I said that forgetting that Snow does not do chip damage. Maybe Specs that is more appealing. Make sure that damage sticks this gen. That is still the most random change, by the way. I hate that they made Hail no longer do damage and changed it to Snow. Stupid. I want my chip. Yeah, I don't... I don't know if Oricorio Pal counts as Articuno at home. Articuno Galar. I will say though, I'm definitely interested to see if that Mon does live up to the reputation of its brethren and just end up being considered OP if we ban out both Sensu and Bale. If we ban a Lowland Sandshrew again, it's going to be a dark, dark time. I do not want to see that Mon in the NU ban list. No. Me personally, I won't allow it. Yeah, it would have made a lot of sense if they also took away the sand doing chip. And I don't really get why they did that for hail. Or, you know, they could have also just kept the damage chip and just add in the defense boost if they wanted to make hail be like the opposite of sand in that way. Oh wait, is said Alolan Sandshrew not even coming back? Okay. Oh, that is a good point. A Sandshrew going for Terra, not Sandshrew going for Terra, but an Ice type going for Terra, then would randomly just start taking damage. That's possible. Yeah. Arctivish. Well, we had Arctizolt at first, remember? And that Mon was obscene. I forget if it just naturally rose to RU anyway or not, if we banned it. But then Arctivish came in, and Arctivish was just as problematic. Maybe to a little bit less of an extent, because its dual stabs weren't bolt beam coverage. But naturally, Vicious Rend that's guaranteed to outspeed everything. Kind of a big deal. And then you threw on Beartic alongside it, just so you had those two really strong ice types. Naturally, they have very similar checks, so it was very easy for these Hail teams to open up holes for just one of the sweepers. And a Lowland Sandslash, of course. I don't know how I forgot that one, but remembered Beartic. But yeah, having all three of those in the tier at once, and how well they synergized, basically that's what ended up playing into the ban of Slush Rush in general. Yeah, I mean, with the ban of Snow Warning at first, too, it was because we just had so many things that were being banned because of Hail. And then, you know, Aurora Veil, I think, was just banned by a higher tier at a point, or it was... No, we had unbanned Aurora Veil, but it wasn't any good anymore. It's so hard to remember the timeline with our Hail bans. We had unbanned Aurora Veil, though, and I think Arctizolt at that point was in, like, UU. So it wasn't even a matter of, you know, do we need to consider this when considering Hail? We didn't. So we were left really with just the Slush Rush question. And since we didn't have a whole bunch of things all banned anymore because of Snow Warning, we decided, okay, well, I guess Slush Rush is the thing at fault here because it makes these three Pokemon really, really strong, really, really broken. So we decided on that. I think this is going to be where I end the stream today where I end the stream for today, everyone. I'm so good at speaking. This was a nice little time. I am excited to see how the tier changes affect Inyu. You know, again, just a little brief recap. We get these guys. I'm definitely going to have to try them out. I don't remember if I have a video recorded that I might upload tonight. I should upload tonight. We'll see if I feel like working on the thumbnail. This Titan is definitely going to crush. Thanks everyone for coming around. Making the stream a nice little time. You know, if I don't upload tonight, well, I will be uploading tomorrow. Hey, thanks for the $10 super chat, Quagsire King. Glad to see you join at any point, regardless, man. Always happy to have people hop in, whether it's at the start or at the end. Yeah, I mean, expect to stream again next week. Probably same day. I think I'm going to try to do it every Wednesday. That seems like a nice schedule to maintain. Until then, though, I hope you guys stay safe, enjoy life, and I'll catch you later. Peace.